We know people have short memories. And as long as this Black Talk radio station is on the air, we will not let Altadena be forgotten. We are honored to announce that the Altadena Historical Society will officially archive our recent town hall alongside every episode of Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr. This is the show of record, the definitive source for tracking Altadena's roots, resilience, recovery, and reunion. These stories will now live on for students, scholars, researchers, and journalists seeking truth and legacy in the months and years to come. Because history isn't just made, it's honored, it's recorded, and it's passed forward. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
But all sentient beings that we can see are apparently trying to be happy. Now, the Buddha teaches us that that's true of all sentient beings in all of the realms. But we also learn that we do not have the technique or the knowledge to make happiness. It's pretty hit and miss. This is not a flash for you, I'm sure. You have looked at your own life and you have seen that sometimes things that you did brought you some kind of satisfaction or some kind of happiness. But you've also seen that a great many, surprisingly many, things that we've done have brought us more suffering. And sometimes have just left us in the lurch, brought us very little satisfaction. So difficult to understand that we can put perhaps many years of effort into one single thing and have it come to nothing. Certainly I've seen that happen in my life. I know that from personal experience. Have it come to something that produces instead unhappiness. That's heartbreaking for sentient beings. We have a great deal of sadness that we carry around about that, and disillusion and disappointment, and it stays with us, and sometimes we don't know what to trust or how to go and how to move forward. And it's because we do not always understand what comprises happiness, what makes up happiness. Often in our relationships, we will engage in activities where we present ourselves in a certain way, thinking, let's say, using as an example, we present ourselves in a powerful way, thinking that that will get us approval from our loved ones or friends. And since what we are doing is to present ourselves in a certain way in order to get it to elicit a certain response, we find that generally there's only a 50% chance that it works out, because it isn't.
I want her to keep going, so just hold. But I have to say something. You hear me say on many shows, we've got relationships in reverse. Can I just say something? Your ego and your fears do not know the way to happiness. See, as long as they live, there's going to be misery in your life. So what happens is you go on a journey looking for their sustenance. This is why most people don't know the difference between peace and quiet. You want your wounds to be quiet, so you go on a supply hunt. You don't understand how to get to happiness because most of your time is spent babysitting what needs to be healed. You think if you feed it what it demands, that it'll go away. No. It ain't that easy. Tonight's topic is going to blow your mind. Oh, yeah, you can throw in the Shannon Sharps. You can throw in everything that's happening. The Trey Songs, the Diddy's, anybody. You could throw in anybody. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything, okay? What I'm simply saying is most of the depravity that manifests in our lives is coming from an unhealed source. Most of the lying, the performative confidence, most of the goofiness, the insecurity, the fear, the shame, the guilt, all of it, yes, all of it is coming from an unhealed place. Somebody told you that you have the power to control your course. Well, that might be true at some point in your life, but not before you individuate. Not before you integrate. You want to integrate with the in crowd, with the Joneses, with the people that got it. You want to look like you with them. That's not the integration I'm talking about. You have to individuate. What is that? Self-individuation. You got to merge your shadow into your mask in order to feel unconditional love. All your ego will allow you to experience is entropic obsolescence. Wait a minute, Zoe. This ain't the SAT. Why those words? Because they matter. Entropy. The longer a thermodynamic system goes on, the more it begins to break down into disorder and chaos. Obsolescence, that which needs to be replaced. Think iPhone. Think printer. Those printers are designed to go out after maybe 3,000 prints. Yes, called planned obsolescence. See, you want to get the reward before you do the work. And everybody thinks when I get the money, then I can get the honey. No. It's the other way around. The honey is what Carl Jung talked about when you individuate that shadow. Individuation, self-individuation. When you merge that shadow with the false self, the mask. That's what makes you a whole person. As long as you out here looking for your soulmate, as long as you out here looking for your twin flame, as long as you're out here looking for your better half, right? You're going to find some level of entropy, of obsolescence. Do you understand? Let her finish cooking, please. Or is she gone? Let's bring her back one more time.
It's up in the air as to how that will work out. In the same regard, sometimes we present ourselves as being needy or whiny or just kind of wanting some sort of support. And again, that presenting oneself in a certain way does not necessarily produce happiness.
Ooh.
So it's 50-50 chance that you're going to get any happiness from it. We have no way of understanding what our happiness or unhappiness is made of. Primarily because we only have a slot of time to view, and that slot of time, when considered within the context of the great scheme of things, is extremely short. Some of us are maybe young, some of us are middle-aged, some of us are older, but whatever it is, on the outside, we've had maybe 80, 85 years to examine cause and effect relationships. And not all of the cause and effect relationships that we have ever engaged in have ripened and shown themselves clearly within that time slot of 80 years. Even if we are quite up in years and have seen much life experience, it isn't enough to understand.
Bring me back. Listen, man, listen. Love can't win until you go within. I know, yeah, love can't win until you go within. All you're getting is stimulation. Somebody is satiating you performatively until they get tired. Oh, I don't have the capacity. Well, you know why? Because this society doesn't allow you to work that muscle. I know y'all don't want to hear it, do you? You don't want to hear it put this way, do you? Well, I'm going to give it to you because I don't give a damn. I'm not saying anybody is guilty of anything. What I'm saying is relationships become exceedingly problematic when you lock the door to self-exploration. In self-exploration, there is self-awareness. If the worst relationship partner in the world is somebody with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, and one of the characteristics of someone with NPD is that they are self-unaware. Imagine us further down on the spectrum. That means there's some level of consciousness that chooses to ignore the work, that chooses to put the fantasy on a pedestal. Somebody's going to show up and make it all right for me. That's not how it works. Tonight's topic. Y'all ready to cook? Tonight's topic. Relationship as a mirror of karmic debt. What if you had God's bird's eye view of karma? A deeper look at relationships through the karmic cycles. What is karma? People often confuse karma with revenge. You're going to get your karma. Don't worry. Nah. He gonna get his. Huh? He gonna get it. She gonna get hurt. No. That's not what karma is. Let me explain. What did Einstein say about doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Right? He classified that as insanity. When you are born to a broken person, you are born into a broken pattern. Ooh. Somebody meme it. When you're born to a work in progress, which is a person who is disjointed from self, you mimic and model, right, that misalignment. Karma is a pattern. And it can only stop when you disrupt the pattern. And that's self-work. Hey, you think I'm making it up? Let's go. Karmic incest. How spiritual bypassing in relationships reenacts generational abuse partners. What are you saying? Spiritualizing toxic dynamics as soul contracts gaslights survivors into tolerating abuse masked as karma. What is, don't come back, Zoe, hold on. What is spiritual bypassing? What is that? See, again, it's just like toxic positivity. You know, it's almost a form of spiritual intellectualization. Well, this happened because, and the reason why it happened, because I have to settle this within my spirit. That's not how this works. Do you understand? Spiritualizing toxic dynamics as soul contracts gaslight survivors into tolerating abuse masked as karma. Your philosophical insight here is from Nietzsche. Internal reoccurrence meets systemic family therapy, Bowen, revealing ancestral patterns. Oh my God, listen, did you hear what it is? You're born to something that is broken and you model the brokenness. Reliving ancestral patterns becomes a moral failure to transcend versus repeat. See, relationships are for transcendence. You've never met you. You've never come in contact with the real you because you live out of a pattern that gave you an identity. I know you don't want to hear it put that way. Here's your psychological piece. Trauma bonding. Patrick Carnes pathologizes as divine lessons, exploits attachment wounds, reinforcing Stockholm syndrome under spiritual veneers. Let's go back. Relationship as a mirror of karmic debt. Yes, the buck can stop with you or continue with you as a generational legacy of spiritual immaturity. This is why you don't know love. This is why you don't understand love. You say love ain't enough. Love ain't gonna pay my bills. My attachment style or my love language is give me. Give me what I didn't get. Are y'all ready? When we come forward, the voice of reason shall continue unpacking this firebrand of a topic.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. If you missed our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall, the Altadena Eden Fire, 100 Days and Counting, you missed an evening of reverence, reflection, and reality.
You gotta live in the reality because this is it. Every day. You wake up, is this my life? Don't stay in denial, because yes it is. Don't stay in bargaining, where you're praying for a miracle, and if it wouldn't have happened, then this is what I would have done. It did.
Our panel participants kept it real. Really real.
I think, number one, it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yo, just when I think that I forgot you, I hear that dub that we used to rock to. Just when I think I'm getting on without you, somebody passed and asked me about you. Was in the back of a cab the other day. Swear to God I saw you walking past the other way. Wait a minute, my heart rushed, my face flushed. Tell the driver hit the brakes, slow the pace up. Wait up, it wasn't you. Realized it's some mirage I was running to. Damn, can the effects of love and time cause the mind to trick the eye? I wonder how you're getting by, and all the stars still in your eyes. And do you still just get the vibe to break the bank and spend the time, or reminisce and shift the time to when you was mine?
Years ago, in the midst of hallways and sliding doors, missing links, a very, very obscure vision of you shine, but only for a short time. My mistake, I didn't pick up on it till years down the line. Here now, as I reminisce, will I ever see your face again? Baby, as I think back, will I ever see your face again?
I feel very strongly is that seeing one's own confusion, seeing where one is stuck and has blind spots and where one is mean-hearted, closed-minded, all of this, I feel it's so important to see this. And that unless we see this, then we're always in some kind of spiritual pretend world where it's not really genuine. So the importance of seeing it, for instance, in my experience, I could never understand other people and where they're coming from if I hadn't seen it in myself. And I could never have some kind of empathy or compassion if I didn't know personally how hard it was to let go of a negative storyline or to de-escalate when I start spinning off in aggression or meanness. If I didn't have that, there wouldn't really be a basis for empathy or kindness towards other people.
Bring it all together, Zoe. That's Pima children. Bring it all together. See, there's deviance in our spirit. Right? A wound, that's what trauma means. It means a wound, right? It's an open wound. What is the inverse of a traumatic wound? Vulnerability. What? Vulnerable means wound too. And to be vulnerable means to be open and receptive to intimacy. Both words mean the same thing, pain, but it's a different kind of pain. Do you understand? Vulnerability is what is necessary, is the lifeblood of relationship. But when you've been wounded, a psychic wound, a traumatic wound from childhood, you mimic a pattern, right? The Sanskrit term karma means action. In Pali and Hinduism, and is also in Hinduism or Sanskrit, you'll get samsara, right? The endless cycle of death or birth, life, and death. That's a pattern. So I'm going to combine the two. Karma, right, is the conditioned actions of wounded folk. Do you see? The only way they can be played out is in intimate relationships. You don't know what you like until you get to a certain age, right? Right? And based on what happened to you, how you were traumatized as a child may influence your appetites. I don't know who I'm speaking to tonight. Do you see? You've never been free. You were born into a disjointed pattern. And there's this longing and this yearning to be in alignment with another. But what you actually do is call in a mirror of this misaligned energy within you. This is why the great Krishnamurti said, the enemy is not the other. The enemy is you. Oh, I know you guys don't want to hear it. Right? I know you don't want to hear it put that way. Trauma bonding, Patrick Carnes pathologizes as divine lessons. It exploits attachment wounds, right? Reinforcing Stockholm syndrome under spiritual veneers. I'm going to use spiritual words to get me past the negative moment, right? Paramahansa Yogananda, he called karma, he said, it's karma as curriculum, perverted into soul-level gaslighting. Abusive partners weaponize past life vows to justify present-day harm. If your great-granddaddy was beating on your great-grandmama, is it in the genes like alcohol? Is it in the DNA? We got alcoholism in our family. We got diabetes in our family. We got sickle cell in our family. What about psychic wound imprints? Is this karmic debt that must be repaid by a willing participant? When I come forward, the voice of reason is going to keep cooking.
As I grow, cool deal, the divine has placed us in a small world, and thankfully so.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island with 4 things you should know on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Harvard University is trying to block the Trump administration from freezing funding to the school in what it calls leverage to gain control of academic decision-making at Harvard. The body of Pope Francis, who died Monday at age 88, is lying in state in a private chapel before public viewing begins tomorrow at St. Peter's Basilica. Stocks are rising on Wall Street. It comes after the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed almost 1,000 points lower yesterday. Today, the Dow has been up over 1,000 points at times. Today marks the anniversary of the birth of the environmental movement. There are Earth Day events being held all over the world today. They're meant to educate the public with new ways to live sustainably. For instance, recycling, reducing household energy use, and saving water. I'm Mike Island on your home for Black News First, the Black Information Network.
Since the dawn of baseball, countless players have heard the call of destiny. Judge, Ohtani, Skeens. Witness the heroes of the game in ballparks nationwide. Baseball is something else. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
When the flames subside, who ensures that the stories endure? At KBLA Talk 1580, we're committed to preserving the voices that shape our community. We know people have short memories, and as long as this Black Talk radio station is on the air, we will not let Altadena be forgotten. We are honored to announce that the Altadena Historical Society will officially archive our recent town hall alongside every episode of Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr. This is the show of record, the definitive source for tracking Altadena's roots, resilience, recovery, and reunion. These stories will now live on for students, scholars, researchers, and journalists seeking truth and legacy in the months and years to come. Because history isn't just made, it's honored, it's recorded, and it's passed forward. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Hi, I'm Joe Montaigne. Let's talk about veteran homelessness, because it's not just a housing issue, it's a human issue. Right now, we need LA property owners to open their doors and give veterans a safe place to call home. With guaranteed rent and dedicated support, you can be part of the solution. Learn how you can help. Email houseourvets@lacity.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
It's me, Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. I see those dry elbows, baby. But don't worry, get moisturized right in the shower. So hydrated you can skip the lotion after.
Don't wanna see you try no more. Skin so moisturized with body wash.
Look at you now, no more dry skin. Your skin gets the moisture it craves with
Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You really about to do it?
40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
Who among us doesn't like black music? But Kendrick is right. This moment is so much bigger than music. These are serious times. We've got serious problems, and we need serious people who understand that slogans are not solutions. When you want substantial and sober analysis about things that matter to you and the ones you love, this is where you turn. We're KBLA Talk 1580. and we've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track. The birth of a child on the 8th of October, a toast, but my granddaddy came sober. Count all the fingers and the toes, now I suppose you hope the little black boy grows. 18 years younger than my mama, but I rarely got beatings cause the girl loved drama. In single parenthood, there I stood. By the time she was 21, had another one. This one's a girl, let's name her Pam. Same father as the first, but you don't give a damn. Irresponsible, plain not thinking. Papa said chill, but the brother keep winking. Still he won't down, you would tear out your hide. On your side while the baby make a slide. But mama got wise to the game. The youngest of 5 kids, hun, here it is. After 10 years without no spouse, mama's getting married in the house. Listen, positive over negative, for the woman a master. Mother Queen's rise in the chapter. Deja vu, tell you what I'm gonna do when they reminisce over you, my God.
Because we look at children and we think they're innocent. You know, and Master tells this extremely disheartening story of somebody, one of his disciples had a baby and put the baby in his arms for his blessing. So what Master said, I almost dropped the baby because I could see that in a previous lifetime this child had been a murderer. And so, you know, now it's a little seemingly nothing, but the karma's there. The consciousness is there. It's just getting God's chance to start over again. Okay, now I'm not saying that and now this is where it gets really hard, because are you being punished for being bad? Does God have no mercy? I mean, so there is no simple answer to this one. And this is where people leave the path. We never really get on it because it's just too hard to make this divine law, to accept that this is actually the way it is. So we just have to start by just having a few coping strategies and not just my dogmatically saying that it's always your karma and that the baby's not innocent. This also has to do with what I was saying earlier, which is merely because something is profoundly challenging does not mean that it's bad. It could be a reward for a tremendous amount of spiritual growth that now you're ready to face into the hardest part of your past or your misunderstanding, and that from the beginning you're going to be challenged. Oftentimes when people come to me with very difficult karma that started with conception, you know, it's like, okay, this number was really up in this lifetime. You are not going to take a pass. You are not going to get a few easy years. You were determined that this lifetime is going to be about learning really hard lessons. So why is that a punishment? Why is that not a courageous reward for your capabilities at this point?
Hey, listen, I'm trying to change everybody's life. Somebody lied to us. Somebody told us relationship was the safe haven. No, relationship is the university of you. It is the crucible of you where you set your ego on fire. Your ego does not help you if it is healthy. And listen what I'm saying. Healthy in the negative sense. Healthy meaning it is formed by these patterns, these karmic patterns. A healthy ego is a freed ego, not one that is burdened by suppression and repression of old hurts and generational karma and wounds. Do you see how karma is a pattern we all must break in order to act freely? The word karma means action. You don't act freely when you haven't done the work. The neurobiology of past life betrayal. When PTSD flashbacks are actually karmic memory fragments. According to the DSM, the diagnostic, you know what it means, the manual here, the DSM-6, should we categorize karmic flashbacks as quantum consciousness and not psychosis? Here's your philosophical hook. Right? Bergson's duration theory plus Freud's repressed memory. Time, non-local trauma lingers. Listen, non-local is a quantum mechanic term. Non-locality refers to everywhere, every when, all at one time. That's what Schrodinger's cat, that experiment was about. Is the cat alive or dead? We don't know until we cross the vector. What is crossing the vector? Opening the box to see. The observer has to be a part of quantum experimentation. When the observer is a part of it, the wave function collapses and we can be somewhat certain about what we're looking at. Did you see how I said somewhat certain? Because that goes back to the advent of English prime. E without is. Because is it alive? Oh, I know y'all not ready for tonight. Bergson's duration theory plus Freud's repressed memory. Time, non-local trauma lingers in an aspect of your brain and you feel it in your body. These are somatic echoes, if you will. You hear me mention Babette Rothschild's The Body Remembers, right? Your psychological edge. Van der Kloek's somatic PTSD research intersects with Goswami. If you know anything about Amit Goswami, he is an Indian brother, an East Indian brother, Kushite, right? He's a quantum mechanic, quantum physicist, right? It intersects with Van der Kloek's somatic PTSD research intersects with Amit Goswami's quantum memory, right? Body keeps the score across lifetimes. Your metaphysical piece. Buddhist, right? Speak of something called the wheel of becoming, encoded in neural pathways, amygdala, that section of your brain where there's strong emotion, fires for threats, spanning multiple incarnations. And you think you just gonna find somebody and y'all gonna have a kid and everything gonna be cool and all they gotta do is act right and all they gotta do is bend the knee and capitulate to something you haven't healed yet. You think you can just go off into happily ever after without dealing with you? And you carrying all this to the table and it's unbeknownst to you? Oh my goodness. When we come forward, we go into the phone.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Fire, fire, fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, I cordially invite you out to the Comedy Connection series, where comedy meets connection. You're gonna laugh, but you're also gonna learn. The long-awaited collaboration, where comedy collides with connection. It's your brother Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, KBLA's own. I'm teaming up with my friend, the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're gonna host this comedic relationship roundtable series live at Inglewood's iconic Miracle Theater. Theater, May 31st, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't wait around. Get your tickets now. Join top comedians Ron G. and Kevin Tate, along with clinicians Dr. P. Pacoya McCall Robinson, along with my friend Christopher Johnson, PhD. Trust me, this is something you don't want to miss. It's unique, it's funny, and it's insightful. Think therapy meets punchlines. Tickets are selling faster than a bad first date. You better grab yours now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Can remember when we had it all. You and I. Reminisce on the love we had. Yeah.
Wait, Andy, hold on. I don't think people respect my co-host, right? We start with Bilal, Reminisce. Then we go to who? We go to Trouble T. Roy, right? We go to Pete Rock CL Smooth, Reminisce. And now we gonna slap you upside your dome piece on your way home to Jones Beach. We gonna hit you with Mary. Bring it back. Bring that beat back. Come on.
I can remember when we had it all. You and I. Reminisce on the love we had. Yeah.
men out there. I think to a certain extent, I'm a very unique sort of unicorn of a woman.
Yes, you
And
are.
so it's going to take a unique person.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, I have really learned how to live my life and
Yeah.
enjoy it and not sit around waiting.
The truth is that I'm a rare breed. So, like, there might not be a match that's a rare breed for a while.
I want to separate my emotions from logic. My emotions tell me that Tracy Ellis Ross is beautiful, fit, fun, quirky, and a great catch. Logic tells me that she is lying because she has an overinflated view of who she is and her place in the world. Hear me out. Either we are all special unicorns or none of us are. She is not the only one who is special. The fact that she thinks her uniqueness made her single lets me know how little she knows about herself and how relationships work. We have to admit that sometimes some people just don't want it that bad. There are things in life, places where I am comfortable, because whatever the alternative is, I just don't want it that bad. I know the things I value. I know how hard I work and fight for the things I really, really want. If I was not getting results with something that I wanted for years, I would have to look at my patterns and behavior because I am and would be the common denominator to all of my issues.
Get back, Lord have mercy. So, who that woman? I want to hug her. NECA, I want to love you, NECA. I want to love Tracy Ellis Ross too. But she's right. And as I'm listening, because you guys are out there in the radio world, you have to understand, I'm listening to the clips as you are. I haven't heard these clips. But she was right, because as I'm listening with you, what she did when she, I'm a special unicorn and maybe there's no other unicorn. Okay, listen, hold on. It was an example of what is known as spiritual bypassing, which is, I broke that down at the beginning of this hour. It's kind of using spiritual terms to intellectualize, right? To rationalize, to justify where you are. And as NECA so succinctly pointed out, that's not how relationships work. You might have some epigenetic work to do, but you don't know about it. And I'm not saying that she doesn't know, because I don't know her. She can always come down to the cigar lounge and have a cigar on me, and we can talk about it. Come on, Tracy. Tracy, finer than frog hair, man. You cry? Okay, let me stop. Let's get these callers in here. Let's talk about it, because this is deep. This is heavy. I'm asking you guys, what pattern, what karmic, entropic, some people say entropic, but obsolescent pattern what are you fighting with that you need to break up with from your childhood? Yes, I want to know, right? Karmic debt, relationship as a mirror, as karmic debt. I want to know what you guys think. We got callers on the line. Gonna get them on right now. Attila from Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? Yo, what up?
Oh, listen, this is a slapper, of course.
Slaptastic.
Of course. And it's funny because not the first video you played. I think you're going to play it eventually. There's a no, I think you played it third. The lady that was talking about the baby and how the monk almost dropped the baby or whatever.
Yes, we played it.
I saw that earlier today, and in the video, she talks about like a God's eye view, and I was like, yo, that's a topic for your behind.
If you
but
could
I will say this.
Right? If you could see it coming before you experienced it, the God's eye view of your karmic path, your karmic pattern.
Yes.
That's heavy. Go ahead.
Yes. And the question is, like, do people even know what karma is? Do they know what it is not? And so I really like that you kind of outlined that at the beginning, that it's not payback, it's not give back. And more importantly, it's not even, I wouldn't even say it's a recollection or like a combination of your wrongdoings. Like, I wouldn't even say it's that, because I think when you start getting into that type of mentality, it's religiosity, right? At that point, like, we prefer that. Right. We prefer being able to have this like list of what you need to do in order to become clean, instead of just becoming clean, being better. We like to be able to provide, rules and guidelines, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it has its time and place. But when you're talking about actually becoming better, right, there are no rules to your path, if that makes sense. So one of the things that I feel like I want to, one of the things I want to break for me, like in terms of my family lineage, would be that it is the religiosity of it all. Like,
the dogmatic. Don't get me the dogmatic. Yes. I'm stuck in this. I hear you. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes. Because I feel like it's created a lot of like havoc, in the sense that people in my family have all these like kind of, I don't want to say secrets, but like everybody is kind of living their own little realities, and when you get together, you make sure you don't acknowledge them. Ooh. There's a silent truth there that, like, people have their own things that they may be doing into, or whatever the case, and nobody says anything. And so I think it just kind of causes you not to live a very authentic life. So if there's anything that I want to break, it will be that. And, when you're talking about relationships, it's really hard to be in a relationship with someone where you have to role play when you get around their family, right? Like, like that's just not something that I want to bring to a partner. So I think in the end, it starts with me becoming more authentic in who I am, and being able to like speak without being afraid. And that is something that I want to break and work through, and hopefully it'll help, my relationship.
So wait, really quickly, I want you to stay with me. We got 30 seconds. I want you to answer this. Becoming more authentic, is that synonymous with being an original? Because they said everybody is unique. That was the argument with the sister in the clip, when she was like, everybody's a unicorn. So would discovering your authenticity also mean discovering your originality?
I would say yeah.
Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. I want you to answer it on the other side. The voice of reason on fire tonight. Let's go.
I still feel the heat when we share each other. Don't you feel the magic, the mysteries in the air? Let's go down to Lover's Lane with the love we share.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Island with 4 things you should know on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Harvard University is trying to block the Trump administration from freezing funding to the school in what it calls leverage to gain control of academic decision-making at Harvard. The body of Pope Francis, who died Monday at age 88, is lying in state in a private